Hello folks, welcome to another video. And yeah, I guess while I feel like doing the videos, have the time to do the videos, I'll keep doing them. Got my drink, got my Monster Zero. So before we start, I got this a few weeks back in the mail. So it looks like, yeah, from the US Postal Service. Of course I cut my address out, there's nothing there on the front here, it's just my address on the back side. So if I cut it out, not missing anything. So if you plan to vote by mail, plan ahead. Of course, those are folks who does absentee voting. And like I said, folks who does absentee voting would be, people in the military who are overseas, those who work overseas as contractors or work in a different state, again as a contractor, but you work there for like 2 or 3 months, you come back home. Or if you're a politician who's in DC. So it's not a whole lot of folks that does absentee voting, but the way they word it says here, see here, if you vote by mail, we're committed to providing you a secure, effective way to deliver your ballot. Use this checklist to prepare. Start today. Give yourself and your election officials ample time to complete the process. So I guess in one particular state, I guess there was some federal judge, probably a federal judge of one of the district courts, one of the federal courts that handles that particular state, has I guess passed a ruling that any mail-in ballots that are postmarked after November 3rd should be counted. I'm like, and no, if one, you're too lazy to, because you're supposed to put it in 7 days before it's it's supposed to arrive 7 days before November 3rd. Rules and dates vary by state, so contact your election board to confirm. Here's the link. Request your mail-in ballot, often called absentee ballot. So now they're calling mail-in ballots absentee ballots. So you see how they're twisting words around here. It says at least 15 days before election day. So it's 15 days actually. But reading the news, they're saying 7 days. But see, once received, follow the instructions. Add postage to the return envelope if needed. Yeah, in a lot of states or districts, they're not paying for the ballot. So if you're going to mail it in, I guarantee you there's going to be millions that are not going to have postage on them, and those are not going to be mailed because people won't pay attention. People will be like, hey, this is from the government. It's going to be postage paid, so I'm just going to fill out mine, my dead uncles, my 2 dogs, my 2 cats, my lizard, my pet goldfish. Once I get all these filled up, I'm just stick them all in one big envelope and go throw it in the mailbox, somewhere, and it will get delivered. Yes, and it's supposed to, and it is supposed to be 1 ballot per envelope, and guarantee you people people are going to stuff the envelopes. What I mentioned, 4 or 5 ballots. Yeah, here we go. We recommend you mail your ballots at least 7 days before election day. So no, if you mail it 7 days before election day, it's not going to get to the polling station by November 3rd. And yeah, like I said, they're now calling mail-in ballots absentee ballots. So like I said, they're twisting words around. And it seems the Democrats are still pushing, and they're going to do it. They're pushing for this mail-in ballot. Yeah, so today, this is my last Cohiba yellow band, red dot. I know it's called something else. I looked it up. La República Dominica, written on the band. I forgot what the official Cohiba name for this cigar is, but this is a mild cigar, so I won't get a ass kicking. Yeah, it is a V cut on the back. This is my Vector lighter, and I like this lighter. It's got the it's kind of a it's black. It's a black lighter, but it's got like the draw could be better. What the heck? It's I didn't check the humidity in the humidor. The humidor that this came out of is the one that I take the wrappers off. I call it my naked humidor. There's only about 10 cigars. It's a 50 count humidor, but I'm down to like 10 cigars, and I should take some of the crystals out. So it might be over humidified right now. I know you're saying, hey man, fill it with some cigars. Yeah, I could start a GoFundMe, for about $300. $300 will fill up the 50 count humidor just fine. I'll probably get no donations at all. The hell you need $300 for cigars for? Here's $1. Now I think on GoFundMe the minimum you can donate is $5. And that's a good thing, so you don't have jokers going on there and donating, like 1 cent or 1 penny. Yeah, so Democrats are threatening Trump with impeachment. Their foot soldiers, Antifa, or if we call them Pantifa, and BLM, Burn, Loot, Murder, are out harassing the Republican senators at their home. And if anything has taught the Republican leaders up in Washington these last 3.5 years, or 3.25 years, is a lot of them are becoming red pill, especially after the Kavanaugh hearing. A lot of the Republicans are becoming red pill, and of course Republicans are always known as the nice guys. And let me explain the nice guys, meaning that we play by the rules. We don't try to bend the rules. We're straight shooters. That's what I mean by nice guys. And also Republicans won't do underhanded things. You got Democrats coming out saying, hey, we're going to, since Republicans are stacking the Supreme Court, and we're going to stack the other courts with Democrats. So the lower courts and I guess the lower courts. And I'm thinking, okay, which I don't think is going to happen, if by chance Republicans gain the House, maintain the Senate, and maintain the executive office, Republicans should, Trump appointed like 87, it's going to be 88 now, 87 federal judges in his 3 and 3.75 year in office. So yeah, Trump is stacking federal judges already. And hey, you okay, dog? Okay. Did the dog door hit you in the? Yeah, it's one of those plastic flaps, and so it shouldn't. Yeah, I didn't go with the hard. They have the hard flap, and with a stronger magnet, but these are old dogs, so I decided to go with the plastic flap with the not so strong magnet. Yeah, so if Republicans do get the House and the Senate, and and maintain the executive office, presidency, then yes, Republicans should go through and stack the courts. That's one of the problems that we're having right now, is that during Obama's during I guess when Obama was in office, that's one of the things that he did, was he went through and he stacked a lot of these courts with Democrat judges, and luckily he got lazy. His second term, yeah, his first term he was just stacking them, just like Trump's doing. He was just appointing. Then during his second term, I guess he either got lazy and was like, oh well, Hillary will take over. She'll appoint these 87 federal judges. Okay, the draw is much smoother, and it's burning a lot better, which of course didn't happen. So Republicans got to do the same thing. We're going to have to go through and stack the lower courts with a bunch of Republicans, and do the same thing that the Democrats did. Have to undo what they did, because that's exactly what Obama did in his first term. So his second term, I guess he was more worried about Obamacare, passing legislation, passing bills into law for gay marriage and stuff like that. It's not a bad cigar, not bad at all. This is the last one, unfortunately. So I got to get some more. I'll jump online, I guess. And yeah, and I didn't know that there is a Cigar International here in North Fort Worth, up in the Alliance area. And I don't know which one opened first. I don't know if this one opened first, or if the one that's in Frisco, Frisco's in North Dallas. And I don't like driving over there. One, it is further. This one is closer to me. It's further. I don't like the traffic. 1, 2, there's tollways I got to take to get to it, unless I want to take the back road and stoplight. But if you live up in that area, then I guess it's cool. It's closer to you. So it seems this Saturday is when Trump is going to nominate the next Supreme Court justice, and I think her name is, but I think her last name is Beatrice. Starts with a B. It looks like Beatrice, or I'll look it up, but it starts with a B, and to me it looks like Beatrice. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. And of course, once again, we got this thing of it's got to be a woman. Trump talking about putting the first woman on the moon. Okay. Why don't we just put the best person, on the moon? What's wrong, dog? You see something out there? Something in the yard? I'm not gonna go get the flashlight. Yeah, the dog sensed something. She's like, perked up and looking left and right into the yard. Yes, and dogs can see. Even old dogs can sense things that we can't sense. If it's a squirrel, get out there and kill it, dog. If it's a person, bark, and we'll both head inside. No, I don't sit out here with my gun, because I am in my backyard. If I need to, I just go inside, grab it real quick. And of course there's the story of that bar owner. I think it was in Minneapolis, was it? The bar owner that shot and killed one of the BLM. and the black district attorney wanted to charge him with murder, and the guy ended up killing himself. and I can see what he's thinking. Hey man, you know, I'm being set up. You got a black district attorney, probably gonna be a black judge. I'm screwed. But I guess you live in a ultra liberal city. Something that's bound to happen, I guess. You know, may he rest in peace. And yeah, and of course, if we haven't figured it out by now, you know, if you live in a liberal city, you okay, dog? If you live in a liberal city, you are not allowed to defend your property or yourself. So if you were attacked by a mob, you're pretty much better hope and pray they don't kill you. And yeah, you got no chance of defending yourself. You know, if you defend yourself and end up killing one of the attackers, then you're going to be brought up on, you know, murder charges. So that kind of sucks. All right, who knows it just. So yeah, so we got the nomination coming up Saturday. I have a feeling the Democrats' foot soldiers are going to go nuts before then. You know, their heads are already exploding on social media. You know, like on Twitter, you got all these liberals on there, you know, making videos, yelling and screaming, and I thought the female judge that Trump is going to be nominating. The people are saying, "Hey, man, she's if Roe v. Wade comes up, she's definitely going to vote against it." Yeah, and what we need to do, what Republicans need to do, especially in the Supreme Court, is stack, not just conservative judges, but conservative Republican aligned judge. You know, because Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she was definitely a liberal, but she was a liberal who was Democrat aligned. She she drank the Democrat Kool-Aid. So we need to put some, Republican, some conservative judges in the Supreme Court who drank Republican Kool-Aid. Justice John Robert. Everyone thought, hey man, this dude's cool. He's he's conservative. Yeah, he's conservative, but he's not Republican aligned. I don't know about Kavanaugh. I know Kavanaugh, again, he's conservative, but I don't know if he's aligned with the Republican side. Because that's what, all of the Democrat justices that are in the Supreme Court are Democrat or liberal justice on the Supreme Court are all Democrat aligned. So any Democrat issue that comes up, they will vote for it. And that's what we got ourselves in this pickle that we are. Yeah, so the question's got to be is, will someone come up and challenge Roe? Every year there, I guess lawyer groups, there are, I guess, attorneys group out there that challenges Roe v. Wade, and so far they've lost every year. So now with the Supreme Court being stacked with conservatives, a 5-4 count, the question's got to be, is the justice that Trump's going to nominate come Saturday, she's conservative, but is she aligned with Republican ideals? I don't know if Kavanaugh is. I definitely know, Justice John Robert, who's, I guess, the head of the Supreme Court right now. He's definitely not Republican ideal aligned. He is a conservative, but he's not aligned with the Republican ideal. And of course, Kavanaugh, he should be red-pilled big time. I mean, the dude was crying during the hearing. I mean, if anything's gonna red pill you, man, it's like, man, you know what? They had me up there. They had me up there grilling me like I was some criminal, and I was crying. If screw the Democrats. If he wasn't aligned with Republican ideas and ideals, he should be now. If he's not, then maybe Trump nominated the wrong person. But I guess in the long run, it's better to have a conservative than an actual liberal. So I guess in a way, it's still better. All right, well, we'll see. There hasn't been any news about rioting or people going nuts over the Supreme Court. But again, like I said, we got till Saturday when Trump actually nominates. So it's probably gonna. I'm gonna get the flashlight and shine it out in the yard. She's going in and out like there's something in the yard. So we'll see come Saturday if things blow up. You got AOC talking about telling the foot soldiers to go riot, burn this place down. I don't know if she could be brought up on charges of inciting riots. Probably not. And I love that dude who went and took a poop on Nancy Pelosi's driveway. Now I thought, no, of course she has multiple houses, by the way. She has one that's completely fenced off. And I guess she has that one townhouse where the guy went and pooped on the driveway. Because I was like, wait, did the guy climb the fence and then go pooped on her driveway? Or okay, this is her townhouse that doesn't have a fence around it. And like the woman Pelosi, the House drinker, it's worth $100 million. So yeah, she's going to have houses all over San Francisco, if not all over the U.S., all over the world. But I don't see the Democrats losing control of the House. The Kool-Aid, is just too sweet and too tasty. The Democrat Kool-Aid. Although they might. Dog. Let me get the flashlight and shine it out there and see what's. Although now of course with the black votes, they're going to get 90% black votes anyway. But the Latino vote, from what I hear, a lot of them aren't even going out to vote. They're like, screw it, I'm staying home. Same with Asian Democrats. A lot of them saying, I'm staying home, I'm not even going to go out and vote. So the Democrat may lose control of the House because the Democrats and the Asians aren't going out to vote. I mean, the Latinos and Asians. Heck, probably blacks too. And yes, okay, Texas Democrats, stop texting me. Stop sending me crap. I'm only getting it from the freaking Texas Democrats, and I'm not a registered Democrat, nor am I a registered Republican. It's like every other day I'm getting a text. Hey, Christy and Juan, stop texting me. Hey, I'm Christy with the Texas Democrat. Me, block, delete. I'm Juan with the Texas Democrat. Block, delete. And I'll get in the mail too. Texas Democrats, shredder. Yeah, it's like every other day I'll get a text. It's like, oh, who's this? Shit, man. Shit. It's like, stop texting me. Stop sending me freaking flyers. I'm not voting for you guys. And of course, they see the Asian name, Mr. Chow, and they're figuring, hey, this guy's a Let's pester him. Let's let's pester him. Let's keep texting him. Let's keep saying, dog. Let's keep sending him flyers. Maybe if we pester him enough, he'll vote for us. And yeah, and I was getting calls. Also, it wasn't just text. I was also getting calls, and I blocked those numbers. And I guess they who knows, when it gets closer to the election here, the calls might resume again. And of course, what's that word? Anyways, I don't answer the phone. But then they leave a message. Listen to the message. Hey, the so and so, the Texas Democrats, delete, block, delete. Yeah, so it looks like the Democrats and the U.S. Postal Service. Now, of course, the U.S. Postal Service, all they're seeing is money. For years, the U.S. Postal Service has been, fizzing. Let's call it losing money. Of course, they got the supposedly the fleet of new cars or delivery vans. At least in my area, the guy's still driving the old ones. Heck, in some area, in the more rural area, it's the person's personal car. I used to live out in a more rural area, and the mailman, yeah, he just drove up in like a regular old pickup. Yeah, it wasn't even no USPS marking or nothing, but that was the mailman. Yeah, and I'll close it on this. In Chicago, of course, the U.S. postal workers there are threatening to not deliver mail in the South Side because 3 postal workers got shot. And you know what? I don't blame them. I mean, heck, it's like, hey, we're getting shot, man. I ain't delivering mail to the South Side of Chicago. And if you're gonna fire me, man, you better. I got my lawyer. I got my lawyer on retainer. We're going to court, and they will probably win in court. So South Side Chicago, and of course, what they're telling people in the South Side Chicago is, you gotta come pick up your mail. And with the pandemic, being a Democrat-ran city, good luck. You're gonna be standing in, 3-hour-long lines. It's gonna be the pissed off black lady, at the counter. Each person's probably gonna take an hour to deal with. Yeah, so I mean, and of course, the Democrats are trying to flip, or the liberals are trying to flip that Martin Luther King saying, which is if you see wrongdoing and you do nothing about it, if you see wrongdoing and you remain silent, by your silence you condone the wrongdoing. That's not the exact quote, but I guess it's close enough. So of course, they're coming out with, white silence is violence. I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute, man. We've had basically snitches get stitches is black silence is violence. And snitches get stitches has been around for decades. So yeah, so black silence is violence. The poor deputies sheriff's deputies who were shot in L.A. by the didn't do. Black silence is violence. They're not going to catch that guy. Supposedly one of the deputies, yes, and police officers all across the U.S. are being attacked. And by attack, I mean they're being ambushed. Like they're sitting in their car and guys coming up and shooting them. Or they're on the beat, guys running up and shooting them. Yeah, and these are happening in Democrat-ran cities, by the way. Yeah, but one of the deputies has been released. I think it's the female, the 31-year-old with the 2 kids. And both of them are rookies, so it's not like she's a 10-year vet or 10-year veteran of the sheriff's department, and she can be like, hey, you know what? I'm calling it quit. Yes, I know it's 10 years, so I only get half of my pension. I know with most sheriff's department, because I've got some friends who worked with the sheriff's department, you know, they're like, yeah, if you work for, and you don't have to work as a sheriff. You know, they have non-police duties that you can work as, like as a clerk. But you know, they're like, yeah, if you work 10 years, you can get you can retire and get you know, half pension, or if you work the entire 20 years, you know, you'll get full pension or something like that. I was like, cool, man, that ain't bad at all, man. You know, take it that you don't get, you know, shot like that, like that lady in L.A., like those deputies in L.A. and deputies in or officer in Atlanta, I think, and there's a few other. I think, of course, in New York, they're always getting ambushed in New York. Yeah, but she's been released, and I have a feeling they're not going to find the didn't do that shot the two deputies who are both Hispanic. And I've mentioned in the other video, the LA is majority Hispanic, so the police force and the sheriff is majority Hispanic, and that seems to only be all the other races except for blacks. You know, if you go into a majority Asian area, the police force is going to be majority Asian. Now you go into a majority Hispanic area or city, the police force is going to be majority Hispanic. It's only with blacks where it's not majority, because I guess they, you know, for generations they got it pounded into their head that the police are bad. Don't join the police. They got the F the police mentality, you know, the NWA song, F the police, which is the Harris Biden campaign song. F the police. Yeah, that meme was funny, man. And of course, there's the thing. Once it's on the internet, it's on. You know, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people have downloaded that meme where I guess Biden was speaking to some Hispanics. He goes up there and he plays some, I don't even know what that song is, on his smartphone. I was surprised that he even knows how to operate a smartphone. And someone, of course, you know, put the NWA F the police over that little segment, which, you know, it was a good laugh. It was a good laugh. And yeah, and I guess I'll close it on this. Yeah, they're not going to find that shooter, because, you know, black, you know, snitches get stitches, which basically translates to black silence is violence. They're not going to find the guy. He's not a very big guy, you know. I think the reward is up to like 300,000, and I think 50,000 of it is from the sheriff's department, and then the other 250,000 is from private contributors. And even at 300,000, you know, the snitches get stitches. They're not going to snitch on that guy. You know, he might not now. If he has a crackhead cousin who really needs the crack hit and turn him in, that's about the only way they're going to find him is if he has a crackhead cousin, you know, who you know, needs that money and turns him in. That's about the only way they're going to catch that guy. Yeah, because you know, he's wearing a hoodie in the middle of summer. I mean, the police officer, if you're sitting in your car, your head should be on the swivel, especially knowing that you guys are being ambushed. If you're out on the beat, you know, your head should be on the swivel, knowing that you're now being ambushed. You know, if you see a guy walking down the street or towards you in a hoodie in the middle of summer when it's like, you know, 100+ degrees, especially in LA. LA is hot all the freaking time. You know, you see a guy with a hoodie on during the summertime. Yeah, that's definitely a red flag of, hey, something's about to go left. You know, I better get ready. But the thing is both of those officers were rookies. I mean, if I were them, it'd be like, hey, I'm retiring. I mean, they were both. I think one was shot in the face. One was shot. I think it was the 31-year-old female who was shot in the face, and she recovered, and they're letting her out. And, unfortunately, the other officer who was shot in the head is still in the hospital, and you know he they haven't given the condition. You know, he might be in a more serious condition. Because all we got is a grainy, even if it was a high def security camera, and in this day and age, if you know, there should be no reason for your business to not have, you know, HD being 720, you know, preferably 1080. You know, 720 is HD. And for your night vision, you know, get one that has infrared, because when you turn infrared on with your with the night camera that supports infrared, it's like night and day. You can see super clear. But of course, all we got is this super grainy video of a guy in a hoodie. You know, we don't know what his face looks like. You know, he's not very tall. You know, I mean, compared to the car, he's not taller than 6. He's not taller than I think the top of the squad car is probably around 5'10". Top of the squad car, so kind of give a height comparison. We know he runs with the bow leg. I don't know if they were able to get any footprint of the because when you run, you're stomping a lot harder. If they haven't, it's too late now. It's been a few weeks. So yeah, so in LA, I don't know if there's going to be. I don't think, you know, Black Lives Matter wants to start a race war with the Hispanics in LA. You know, blacks there will get curb stomped. The Hispanics, especially in LA, the Hispanics are already targeting blacks and shooting and killing black folks. You know, just pretty much, hey, there's a black guy, we're gonna go over and kill him. I think it was a few years back, probably 5 years ago. The news were coming out where it was, I guess they're saying it's part of gang initiation too, is to go out and kill a black guy, MS-13, I guess. And yeah, there was this like a few cases where, you know, black guys were just either sitting in their car or walking along, and, you know, a gang member or MS-13 initiate would just come up and put a bullet in the black guy's head. So hopefully they do catch this guy, and yeah, if they do catch him, he's gonna serve time. You know, fortunately for him, you know, he's in California, so he won't get lethal injection. And yeah, and speaking of lethal injection, you know, Trump, and I didn't know this. Well, actually, I did. Yeah. There's I guess it's been like a 17-year hiatus on federal execution. And Trump reinstated federal execution. So it's been 17 years. And I guess killing a federal officer would definitely get you on a federal execution list, because normally, you know, for murder, normally the state takes care of it. But I guess for federal execution, it would be like I guess a traitor. If you kill a federal officer or a federal employee, maybe, I guess on the job. Because I was thinking, okay, what would a person do to get onto the federal execution list? Because if they bring back execution for traitors and stuff like that, which I think this will probably bring back, and that will probably also include sedition, which is trying to overthrow the government. So if a lot of those Antifa leaders, especially the ones in Portland who's been arrested, if they get charged with not really a traitor, I guess they would be charged with sedition or what is that word? I'm trying to think of the word to. I think sedition is the correct word where you're trying to overthrow the government, which is, to my opinion, which is worse than treason. You're trying to overthrow the government. They probably could be put on the federal execution list, and they will be sitting in jail pissing in their pants because you're going to be on that list, and that list is not very long. I think since Trump reinstated the federal execution, they've executed four federal prisoners. So if sedition is added to that list, and if a lot of those Antifa and BLM leaders who's been arrested gets convicted of sedition, the list is probably gonna get a lot longer. All right, I'll call it. Go get the flashlight here and see what's out in the yard. So, well, that ash is not coming off, but it is very flaky, as you can see. And normally, flaky ash indicates a moist cigar, or is it a dry cigar? I think moist. Flaky ash. See how the ash is flaking. Well, stay safe. Don't get sick. You're probably not going to get sick. No, winter seasons is we haven't entered autumn yet. I think we're in autumn. I don't know. But we got autumn coming up. Then we got winter. If you live in a blue city or blue state, specifically blue state, they're going to try to they're going to try to enact a second lockdown. They're doing it in England. And of course, a lot of the England YouTube political commentators like, man, we're screwed if they enact a second lockdown. That's going to be the death of any remaining businesses. So, yep. And again, don't go out to any riot areas. And hey, and I'm back. Yeah, I got the flashlight, shined it out there. I saw some shiny eyes reflecting back towards the back fence. I guess I'm going to assume it's raccoons or possums. So I forgot to mention that the CARES Act. So it seems Democrat leaders in blue cities and blue states are using the money, the CARES Act, which is from the federal government, given to states to give to unemployed folks who have been unemployed due to the pandemic, businesses that needs that money to stay afloat or pay their employees, or just pandemic related issues. But just like in California, Newsom, instead of giving the people of California the extra $100 that's supposed to be given by the state, and of course that money's supposed to come out of the CARES Act that was given to states. So of course he comes out and tells the folks of California, sorry, I can't give you the 100. We ain't got the money. I used the federal funding for coronavirus vaccine research, or coronavirus, not cure vaccine, but the testing. Yeah, I used that money on coronavirus testing research. So the people of California are screwed. In other states, they're using the money from the CARES Act for free college, which is not part of the pandemic. Free college, and they're using it for a universal basic income, and they're giving it to I don't know who they're giving it to, but from what I've read, it's people who are low income folks are going to be getting this universal basic income, which of course is coming out of the CARES Act that the federal government gave to states. My thinking on that is the federal government should take that money back, because there is, I think, a cutoff date to where if there's any money left in that CARES Act funding that was given to states, it's going to go back to the federal government. which I believe the federal government should take that money back sooner. It's like, hey, screw this, man. You know, I mean, 'cause that money should have been used up by now. But it seems in a lot of Democrat states they've withheld a lot of that money from the unemployed folks and from businesses, and are using it for the little, it's called pet projects. So they're using it for the little pet projects, such as, you know, free college. So you can get all these idiots who are, you know, going to be graduating with gender studies degrees, universal basic income. So they're giving it to people who really don't need it, you know. Instead of giving it to folks who are unemployed because of the pandemic, giving it to businesses that needs to stay afloat, they're taking that money and putting in their pet projects. So that's the type of crap that Democrats are doing. And you know, it has come to light. I don't know if Trump's going to do anything about it, or if whichever government, if it's the Department of Treasury or the DOJ who oversees, or if it's the IRS who oversees the CARES Act funding. So of course, you know, hey, Democrats, if you're complaining that, hey, you know, where is the stimulus? Where is the second stimulus pack coming out? I ain't got no money. I've been unemployed, and no money's coming to me from the whatever state you're in. You know, blame it on your local government for withholding that money and using it for pet projects instead of giving it to businesses and people who are unemployed and actually need it. All right, well, that's it. So the dog just came out again. Like I said, I saw some raccoon eyes shining in the back fence. So hopefully, yeah, they do use the fence as one of their pathways, the top of the fence. And unless the raccoons are starving or rabid, they shouldn't attack me. They shouldn't attack the dog unless they're in the yard and the dog runs into them. And these are old dogs. They're not going to do anything except for to get their butt kicked by the raccoon. So again, thanks for watching. And it was just a short video on the Democrats' debauchery. You know, you got California that people still can't go back to work in California, and they're talking about a second lockdown. You know, the $300 that Trump used with executive order. You know, California is finally, you know, more than likely what they did was they probably took that money and used it on pet projects, you know, and had to go scrounge up some money somewhere to because they finally gotten around to giving out the extra 300. It was like a month and a half since Trump signed the executive order. California's finally getting around to doling out $300 to unemployed people. And yeah, just crap like that. You know, I'm speaking with my relatives, of course. It's like, hey, man, you know, stay in California. Don't come to Texas. You know, stay there. You guys, you know, grew up there. You know, Texas ain't for you. Stay in California, where you know where you got connections and stuff. And yeah, they're liberals, and they love California, so they're not going to be leaving anytime soon, which is good. So yeah, it's just stuff like that. Well, thanks again. Stay safe. Don't get sick. And if you're in a blue state, stay there. If you got relatives in blue state and you're keeping in contact with them, make sure you tell them stay in your state. Don't come to my red state. All right, thank you.